morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today we've got some new cards to talk about from Pokemon card 151, and I am delighted because we've got a really interesting Electrode. We'll talk about the interesting Electrode in a moment. But first, I've got to show you the artwork rare of Snorlax. Now, before we get too deep into this, there's something really important that we need to mention about these artwork rares. Unlike with other sets, we are being shown these artwork rares long after the reveal of the original card. And that's a really big deal, because for most Japanese sets, if you don't see the artwork rare when the original card is revealed, there will be no artwork rare. That's a general rule we see with these sets over in Japan. That is not the case with Pokemon card 151. I showed you Snorlax a while back. And now we've got the Snorlax artwork rare. That means, ladies and gentlemen, that there's hope. Like, right up until we see the final artwork rare, your favourite Pokemon, might have been revealed like 2 weeks ago, but there is no reason it can't have an artwork rare, not until we've either seen them all, or we've seen enough cards that there literally isn't space in the set list for the one you're hoping. I love Snorlax. Snorlax is the second best of the original 151 Pokemon, after Porygon. I am delighted that it gets an artwork rare. This artwork rare is absolutely stunning. Why is there a Diglett digging up to the Snorlax? I don't know. But what else is Diglett going to do? Diglett gon' dig. Now, in terms of Snorlax, we actually saw Snorlax a while ago, to be fair. Snorlax it's actually a really cool card. It's one that I like very much indeed, because once during your turn, you can put up to 2 leftovers from your discard pile into your hand. And leftovers is end of your turn, heal 20. Come on, it's leftovers. That was always what it was going to do. But and I suppose we should mention the attack. Free energy, 130, and it also does 30 to itself. It's cool. It's nice. I just like being able to search leftovers, and one thing that is really, really important to note, it does not have to be active. It can sit on the bench and search leftovers, basically guaranteeing that you've always got access to leftovers. This is extremely important for a card I'm going to show you in a moment that combos beautifully with Snorlax. Now, I do also have to mention that the original Snorlax, like the main version of it, is Higanosuke, who is my second favourite artist, and I do love that my second favourite artist did my second favourite Gen 1 Pokemon. There's some cool symmetry in there. But the point is, Snorlax is a cool card for going to get leftovers, and Snorlax is a very cool card in terms of artwork, both the regular and now the special art, and I am absolutely delighted, ladies and gentlemen. I am absolutely delighted. But I did tell you there was going to be a new card with which Snorlax comboed very nicely, and it's the new Electrode. Oh, I suppose we've also got Voltorb. Voltorb is flip a coin if heads 20 more damage. No one's getting excited about that. But the Electrode, ladies and gentlemen, we like this. 2 energy, 70 damage, nobody cares. But single energy, 20 damage. But before doing damage, you may discard any number of Pokemon tools from your Pokemon and deal 40 more damage for each card discarded in this way. Now, what's crucial here is that if I've got 2 Snorlax sitting on the bench, assuming none of my leftovers are prized, of course, every single turn, I can go ahead and get 4 leftovers back. So I'm doing minimum 180 with Electrode for a single energy. That is single energy, 180 minimum. At minimum, I'm getting 4 leftovers, attaching them literally anywhere, nobody cares where, and then discarding them to deal 160 plus a 20 base is 180. That's the minimum. If I can get 1 extra tool, then all of a sudden, that's 220, which is the magic number for KOing Pokemon Vs, bearing in mind, and I cannot stress this enough, single energy, stage 1, single prize Pokemon. That's pretty important, ladies and gentlemen. That's pretty gosh darned important. This is a big deal. This is a genuinely big deal. Without Snorlax, I don't like Electrode. I think having to keep getting these cards is too awkward. I don't like it. I'm not a fan. Now that I do have Snorlax, I think this is legitimately great. I basically need to find one Pokemon tool per turn in order to just get rolling. Snorlax is a basic Pokemon, so that's not much. And yes, you do have to get leftovers out initially, but the second they hit the discard pile, you are golden here, ladies and gentlemen. You are absolutely golden. I am in love with this. Yes, I know Electrode is basically going to be giving up a prize every turn, and that is a little bit of a pain. Never mind. And yes, I know that initially finding all of the tool cards can be a little bit of a pain. But this is just such a fun combo. Do remember, we've got things like Bombardier from Scarlet and Violet, that for a single colorless energy searches out 3 Pokemon tools. That could be a fun one. Don't forget, Arven is a really good card that searches for an item card and a Pokemon tool. They are now different, ladies and gentlemen. That is very, very, very important. Do remember that in Lost Origin, we got Toolbox. Lets you look at the top 7 cards of your deck, find any number of Pokemon tools you find, and put them into your hand. That could be kind of fun. And actually, we do have some finishers in this deck. We got some cards in this deck that can finish Pokemon off quite nicely. We've got Rotom. Now, remember, we've got Rotom V that lets you put any number of Pokemon tools from your discard pile into Lost Zone, doing 40 more for each card you put in the Lost Zone in the attack. 40 base plus 40. But then we've got Rotom V Star that is the same, but it's 80 plus 40 for each card you put from the discard pile into the Lost Zone, which is amazing. Don't forget, Rotom V-Star's also got the ability Conversion Star, that lets you discard any number of cards from your hand and draw that many cards. And Rotom V has got an ability that lets you once during your turn draw 3 cards, but it ends your turn. But in the early game, that could be kind of useful. So essentially, you've got your Electrode Snorlax combo. Then when you're starting to, get a bit late in the game and you've got a lot of tools in the discard and you need one giant attack, you got Rotom V or V-Star. And then don't forget, you've also got Porygon 2 that does 20 for each Pokemon tool card in the Lost Zone. So you could even potentially go from Electrode to Rotom to Porygon. And look, it makes me sad to say this out loud, okay? Because Porygon is one of my very favourite Pokemon. It's my second favourite Pokemon. And the Porygon 2 artwork is Okacheke. I don't think Porygon's doing it in this deck. The way I see this deck rolling is you get your Electrode Snorlax combo, and then at some point late in the game, you need one big KO to finish off. That's where you come in doing a giant attack with Rotom. Do remember, Rotom Lost Zones are tools though, so maybe you do need Porygon, because after that, the only way to attack really is Porygon. I know people have tried Rotom Porygon and it's not worked. But the difference there is that Porygon's attack damage is actually pretty low, and Rotom, you need to discard the tools and then start attacking, and it's a multiple prize deck, and it's awkward. Don't be thinking that just because Rotom Porygon didn't work, this can't work. Because the deal here is, firstly, you're able to discard the cards when attacking with Electrode. That is big. And secondly, you can stream attacks using Snorlax, which is big. And thirdly, the amount of damage you're doing with Electrode is actually genuinely big. As soon as you're getting 4 leftovers each turn with Snorlax, and that's only 2 Snorlax on the bench, that is not a big deal. You only need 1 more tool per turn to hit a consistent 220, which is the magic number for KOing Pokemon V, which I think is a pretty big deal. I might be getting overly excited about this, I admit that. But I'm honestly just looking at this and I'm going, this is genuinely great. I love the amount of damage that I can do with Electrode. I love how I can be streaming these quite nicely. I love the damage output. I love a lot of stuff about this. Now, there are a couple of other cards I want to mention just before we finish here, but I want it on the record that I'm not a huge fan of these because they are well, they're 2-prize Pokemon. Oranguru, if it's active, you can search your deck for 2 tool cards and put them into your hand. I kind of like that. But then another thing to remember with Oranguru is that it's a 2-prize Pokemon. Your opponent is going to take 2 prizes off that. I'm not sure I want a 2-prize liability. Like, I'm already acknowledging the fact I'm probably going to have to play Rotom here. But I can at least try and save that till the end of the game. Oranguru's a little bit awkward. I'm not sure I'm loving it. There is also Honchkrow V here, to which you can attach 4 Pokemon tools, and it does have an amazing alternate art. And I know having 4 Pokemon tools on will theoretically allow you to do a huge amount more damage with Electrode. That is not lost on me. But I'm honestly fine with using Snorlax to just get 4 leftovers, attaching 1 extra tool, hitting 220 a turn, and having Rotom as an emergency late game attacker. I don't want Honchkrow and Oranguru sitting on the bench being 2-prize liabilities. Also, I know I edited a couple out. If I left in anywhere that I accidentally called Honchkrow Hawlucha, come on, they're both bird Pokemon that start with H, please forgive me. So, I've not forgotten about those cards, I just don't like them very much. I think we have better ways of just running this as a single prize deck with an emergency Rotom for the end game. But I'm now giving you all the options, you know, and now it's over to you guys. Are you as excited about this combo as I am? Do you think this could be good like I do? Or do you think I'm being a little bit overly excited, as let's face it, I do sometimes? Let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and card games and Pokemon card games, all kinds of fun things. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, all kinds of fun things. And of course, you can get shout-outs on the channel, like the lovely Andy White, who's been a supporter of ours for a while now and is a very lovely person. So shout out to Andy for the support and for being a lovely person. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.